Since the late 19th century, people have been pushing the limits of water speed, but as the speeds increased, so did the risks. Since 1940, 5 of the 7 men who attempted to beat this record have died as a result, making it one of the world's deadliest records. Don't you all think what will happen if you push the boundaries when it comes to water speeding? A very common thought. Let us together find out through this video. Before 1910, unofficial water speed records were recorded for boats that were steam-powered and propeller-driven. In 1911, internal combustion engines took over, and in 1928, the first official water speed record ratified by the UIM, Union International Moto Nautique, was set by American George Wood. The first of the fatalities came in June 1930, when famed British driver Sir Henry Seagrave, holder of the land speed record at the time, attempted to take this water speed record from the USA's Garfield Wood, who had repeatedly broken it throughout the 1920s with his Miss America series of boats. Piloting Miss England II, which was powered by 2 Rolls-Royce aircraft engines, Seagrave became the first person to break the 100 mph barrier, doing so on the first of his 2 runs. After completing the second, he set a new world record with an average speed of 98.8 mph, 158.9 kilometers. However, on the third run, at over 100 mph, the boat flipped over, resulting in the deaths of both Seagrave and his chief engineer, Victor Halliwell. Miss England II was salvaged and repaired, and Irishman Condone was selected as the new driver to continue the rivalry with Gar Wood's Miss America boats. The record passed back and forth between them several times, culminating with Wood creating Miss America X, powered by 4 supercharged plane engines to reach a speed of 124.8 mph. Neither Don nor Wood attempted the record again, and both went on to live into their 90s. In 1937, British motor racer Sir Malcolm Campbell, who'd broken the land speed record 9 times and become the first person to drive over 300 mph, set his sights on the water. He piloted the Bluebird K3, which was more compact than Miss America X and had only 1 engine, to a new record of 126.3 mph, and by 1939, he'd increased it to 141.7 mph. After the conclusion of World War II, Campbell experimented with jet engine propulsion, but he wasn't able to attempt the record again because he passed away in 1948, age 63. The third person to die while attempting the record was London stockbroker John Cobb, another land speed record holder. In 1952, on Scotland's Loch Ness, after reaching an estimated speed of 210 mph in his jet-powered Crusader, the craft disintegrated and Cobb was killed. 2 years later, an Italian man named Mario Vergra, piloting a piston-engine hydroplane, also died while attempting the record. By that point, Sir Malcolm Campbell's son, Donald, had been working to take the record, and in 1955, he did it, reaching a speed of 202.3 mph in his Bluebird K7. Campbell broke the record 6 more times over the next 9 years, taking it to 276.3 mph and becoming the most prolific water speed record breaker in history. However, just like Seagrave and Cobb before him, Campbell was another land speed racer who met his untimely end on the water. In 1967, while traveling at an estimated speed of 320 mph, Bluebird took off into the air, did a flip, then plunged nose first into the water, killing Campbell instantly. Later in the year, an American named Lee Taylor claimed the record by reaching a speed of 285 mph, 3 years after severely injuring himself trying to do it. Ken Warby, a mechanical engineer and speedboat racer, established the global water speed record of 511.11 kilometers in 1978, which has yet to be broken. Warby became the fastest man on the water for the second time using his homemade wooden jet-powered boat, Spirit of Australia. The boat was built in his garden and propelled by a military jet engine, costing $65. The boat is currently on display at the Australian National Maritime Museum in Sydney. Warby was born in Newcastle, NSW, in 1939. He became interested in the sport as a teenager, inspired by Englishman Donald Campbell's 1964 land and water speed records. Warby's first successful attempt to break Taylor's record came 11 years later, when his hydroplane achieved 464.44 kilometers per hour. Almost a year later, in 1978, Warby went even faster, achieving 511.11 kilometers, a record that stands more than 40 years later. It all took place at Blowering Dam in New South Wales' snowy mountains. In 1972, he began designing and building the boat in his garden in Sydney, Australia, with the help of friends and volunteers. Warby designed the Spirit of Australia using his knowledge of hull design. He built it with wood, tested it in phases, and sought answers to issues. Warby also developed his own training program and learned on the job at the time. There were no laws or safety standards, including the usage of a seatbelt. Warby has 3 surplus Air Force jet engines for just $265. When the first engine was damaged, Warby utilized his spare $65 engine. That engine helped him set his first record. His second and final record saw Spirit of Australia improve with assistance from the Australian Air Force. The Wagga Wagga RAAF base joined Warby's mission as a support crew, providing him with his 4th engine, which he switched for one of his unusable ones. Warby's progress was influenced by his low funding. He only obtained his first big sponsor, Speedo, a swimwear and accessories brand, after setting his first world record in November 1977. On October 8, 1978, Warby reached just over 305 miles per hour on his first run, and on his second run, he pushed it up to 328 miles per hour, setting a new world record with an average speed of 317.58 miles per hour. During his record-breaking attempt, he was traveling at 500 kilometers per hour and covering 1 kilometer every 7 seconds. The Spirit of Australia moved in a straight course, skimming the surface of Blowering Dam with exquisite balance and casual swaying. However, the boat was not technologically advanced, and his attempt at a water speed record was doomed to fail. Warby's expertise assured that it did not. In 1980, Warby accepted Prime Minister Malcolm Fraser's invitation to tour the United States with Spirit of Australia, promoting the nation. Despite the fatal nature of this record, individuals are still attempting to break it. Ken Warby was working on Spirit of Australia II before his death, and his son David is continuing the project. Spirit of Australia II is almost 50% more powerful than the original boat. Warby Motorsports says, an enormous amount of resources and development work has been invested in refining the Spirit of Australia II. Richard Noble, project director of the Thrust SSC, which presently holds the land speed record, 763 miles per hour, 1,228 kilometers per hour, stated in 2022 that his team intends to beat Warby's record. Over 45 years on, Warby's record still stands, and both official attempts at breaking it have resulted in drivers' deaths. Multiple British teams and one Belgium team are now working on initiatives to exceed it. It is unclear whether they'll be able to do so, but it raises the question of how many more lives will be lost in the pursuit of this record. While people have tried their best in breaking the deadliest records, you are here watching their adventures without any threat. So, why not take a moment and appreciate the fact, and while doing so, make sure to like the video. Subscribe for many more adventure-filled videos, and as always, leave your thoughts in the comments section below.